I looked up the alternative choice for if I sent Edsolar down into the ship. I get hit with the green blast. Either way, one of us is getting hit with the green blast. So. Welcome back to Star Trek Resurgence. Star Trek Resurgence, Dr. Han. And just like that, this video is outdated and cringe. I consider that a success.
Carter!
I'm okay. But that's a lot.
Here, let me help you. Medical. We've got one wounded
That's
at
a
my
cool
location.
scar, though.
Millie.
Oh, man.
That is a cool scar.
We'll see you at sickbay.
Status report.
The repair crew made it inside. EPS flow is back to nominal levels. The SIF is back up.
How does this affect mission readiness, Mr. Ermot?
The Resolute suffered damage from the exploding bolts, but we've successfully moored to the station. The ship is secure. Our systems are coming back online, but we have a fair amount of repairs before we're ready to go.
Put a halt on the roll-off of Starbase engineering staff. We have a schedule to keep. Send updates to my ready room. Commander Rydek, with me.
Oh boy. Let's see what happened.
What a debacle. I was caught with my pants down. Not even on my own ship when the wave hit. I had to go running out of the Starbase commander's office just to... But you followed my order.
Hold on. Can you... Does the sound effects mean, like...
I appreciate that. Hell, I'm relieved.
I did it because it was right.
I did it because it was the right thing to do at the time. It's protocol for a reason.
Okay, now it's weird without the background noise.
That doesn't make this better, Jara. But you see my problem, don't you? They were all against me on that bridge. And they were ready to go against my orders. I'm not blind to it.
If there are any problems, I'll keep them in line.
At least I can count on you.
Hell yeah. That's why the captain's got a first officer. Gotta keep the people on ship in line.
Sure.
It's like, hey, the captain gave an order, I'm here to enforce it.
Thank you.
Your predecessor, Commander Sutherland, is missed. But for all the adoration of the crew, including the senior staff, I just couldn't rely on him. He would question, undermine me in front of the crew. I sometimes think they still hear his voice. That sort of thing is a way of lingering.
This is a fresh start.
And you can't argue with a ghost.
Captain, perhaps you and the crew would be better served if you look at this mission as a fresh start.
You can never really leave the past behind.
If we don't, you can never move forward.
Now, this won't be easy, but I'm glad I have you here with me.
Glad to be here, Captain.
And despite it all, we got our final Starfleet clearance to depart. So if you'll fetch Mr. Ermot, we'll knock out the final details of any outstanding repairs, and then we'll set out for Hotari.
Yes, sir.
I love the constant white noise of space while this is happening. The constant white noise of space while we're having a full conversation.
Ready or not, here we go.
It's awkward with the white noise and it's weird without it. There she is, folks. All I ask is a tall ship. And what I got is this Kitan. Bubby, you bite me all over.
All departments reporting full mission readiness.
Her name is Tokyo.
All
Everyone say hi,
departments reporting
Tokyo.
Full mission ready.
This is my favorite moment, right now.
The start of a new mission is always full of possibility.
The Orion Syndicate could sell it as a drug.
Don't let the Admiralty hear you say that.
Captain on the bridge.
Captain Solano, sir.
Sit. Sit, everyone. You all know, I'm not big on speeches. We're embarking on the first mission since our refit. Let's make it a good one. Disengage docking clamps.
Docking clamps released.
Thrusters ahead, Mr. Handar.
Oh, that was just the introductory part. We haven't even left for the space mission yet. Now the game is starting. Get it on the windowsill. Get it on the windowsill.
That should do it. Set a course for the Hotari system. Prepare to go to Warp 8.
Hi, Captain.
You know what?
What was that? I could barely hear you.
Take this.
Me?
Make way.
Helm. Make way.
Make way.
It's a sailing term.
I know that.
Yeah, I was right to have the, Oh my god, bro. Turn that shit down. My god, bro. Can't hear a damn thing.
Easy.
Thank you. I'm fine. Really,
You don't look so good.
Let me check my Duridium levels.
I have to get to sickbay.
What?
Go.
Commander, help me get her inside!
Well, that was quite a scare. A few minutes more and it would have been one of the shortest tenures on record for a first officer.
Is that the engineer that was out on the hull?
That storm did a real number on her, but she'll live. Just needs rest. You should worry about yourself. Your Duridium levels got dangerously low and destabilized your cell structure.
Already?
This is definitely one of the more memorable first days I can think of.
My Duridium was at
My name
98
is
last time I
Dr.
checked.
Iran
How?
Duval, Chief Medical Officer. To be honest, I've never met a Kobliad before.
How much does my
You're
body burn
rare.
through Duridium?
I know.
I was going to say special. Your people's numbers have dwindled, despite the Federation's efforts to find a more readily available alternative to the Duridium you need to survive. Yet you joined Starfleet and managed to thrive. I imagine the responsibility must be overwhelming. Maybe even a burden at times.
It's who I am.
I know what it means. And I know the responsibility that comes with it. But I can't be anything more than who I am. And if someone has a problem with that, or expects something else, then that's their problem, not mine.
That's exactly right. And don't worry, I won't treat you like a science experiment. I just do the science and leave the experiments to Solano.
You don't agree with his methods?
I don't agree with his definition of acceptable risks. Not when the lives of your crew are at stake. My professional opinion is that the accident took a toll. More than he's willing to admit.
That's just how it goes.
Stressed, operating in the pressure cooker of his own mind. Which is never a good headspace when the lives of your crew are at stake. What concerns me is that now he's even further away from the thing he's been chasing his entire career.
Oh, really?
Breakthrough discovery. The major innovation. Something he can put his name on. But the more the time passes and the further out of reach it gets, the more risk he'll be willing to take. People become blinded by their own ambition.
I won't let that happen.
I've seen it happen before.
I hear you. But that's my job, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. And we don't lose sight of the bigger picture.
Which is exactly why I'm so glad you're here. We need you now more than ever. I have to admit, I was concerned when I heard what happened on the bridge.
But that I followed an order from the
Solano's
captain.
orders despite having better options in front of you.
What up?
Huh. I guess word travels fast around here.
It's a small ship, and everyone's curious about the new XO. Fortunately, your cell structure's almost completely stabilized. And I'll spare us both the lecture, but I do feel it's my responsibility to remind you, without regular infusions of Duridium,
I mean, the
you will
game
not
auto-saved.
live.
I can't go back and
It's
do
as
it.
simple as that.
The game
Understood.
auto-saved. I can't go back and redo that
My
choice.
work
so
here is done.
It's whatever.
Lieutenant Bedrosian.
I came to see if you were okay. We were all pretty worried on the bridge. No one knew what was happening.
Thanks for coming.
I'm feeling much better. Thank you. It's just part of who I am.
You don't have to explain to me.
Oh my God.
I understand. I'm just glad you're okay. You trusted me earlier with the shields, and I appreciated that. I want you to know that I have your back.
Thank you.
Absolute kitten behavior. Get away with this guy. Oh, get away with this guy.
Complete the diagnostic sequence, and this shuttle will be cleared for service.
Yes, sir.
The storm in the Hotari
Don't even bother
region
putting
will
subtitles
interfere
on
with our
that bit.
transporters. So we need all available shuttlecraft in working order.
Listen. This game is a few days old. They didn't patch it. Still a great video
Excuse me,
game.
Commander Trobach.
Petty Officer Maris, I will leave you to your work.
I stopped by sickbay and saw Millie. I figured you'd want to know.
How are her injuries?
Did the doc get her fixed up?
She's stable. But there's something about the storm's radiation that's making it hard to heal the energy burns.
That doesn't sound good.
She's toughing it out. Dr. Duval said she'll be
Oh my god, the sound effects are so loud. Dude.
back on duty soon, though.
Come on. I have to run the final diagnostic.
I can't stay long. I've got a long to-do list before we get to Hotari, and things are piling on faster than I can check them off. We're making all our last-minute checks and security, too.
One thing at a time.
Tactical and security are short-staffed.
Now, we'll just have to take things as they come. Control what we can, and roll with the punches.
Next thing you're gonna tell me you're listening to Andorian jazz.
No.
The point is, the right time might never come. So, I'm just gonna roll with it. I had a chance to think about this while I was away. Then you and Nilly almost got killed out on the hall. And I thought it was important that I just come out and tell you. Instead of tiptoeing around it. Or worse.
You like me?
This is just a guess, but you like me. Is that what this is?
How'd you know? Must have been pretty obvious. Which is funny, because kinda came out of nowhere for me.
The choices screen told me.
You didn't exactly hide it.
I wasn't exactly trying to hide it. But since it's that obvious, we've been really good friends for a long time. I want to see if there's more between us than just being friends.
Are you sure?
Are you sure about this?
They're my feelings. Of course I'm sure. I know what I'm asking, which is why I'm being direct. I like you, Carter. And I think there could be something more for us.
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
So, what do you say?
Let's give it a try.
I like you too, Miranda. And I'd like to see where this goes.
God, the chemistry is just flying off the screen.
These are uncharted territories.
I'd call it a chemistry experiment. You know, with us.
Do we tell Etzela?
Inquiring minds are gonna want to know about this, so... Do you tell Nilly, or do I?
I wouldn't worry about that.
Level 1 diagnostic complete.
I have to get back to that to-do list. They're probably looking for me.
Can't blame them.
Etzela would probably be cool about it. There's no way this could be a love triangle.
I'll be seeing you.
No way they're gonna write a love triangle story in 2023, dude.
Approaching the rendezvous point outside Atari space.
Helm, bring us out of warp.
Dropping to impulse.
Ionic interference surging, Captain.
I think I finally got the audio levels right.
Shield integrity holding.
We can take it.
We are at the correct coordinates to meet the shuttle.
Commander Rydek, find us our diplomat, if you will.
Aye, Captain. Let's reduce the noise. Filter out environmental signals. I can manually tune what's left for Federation signal types.
Oh, I was doing it too fast. I was rotating the stick too fast. It had to be a certain speed for that.
I've located the shuttle.
Opening comms.
On screen.
Shuttle to Resolute. Shuttle to Resolute. Debris field. Lost maneuvering.
Oh, jeez.
Losing.
I can't get it any clearer. We won't get a transporter lock. It's just not happening.
Power up the tractor beam. We'll pull them directly into the docking bay.
Hey, Ensign Calloway.
Diaz, you good to run the tractor emitter?
Yes, sir.
Come on, Diaz. First thing, lock onto the shuttle and stabilize the rotation.
There you go.
We're pulling in debris.
Sorry, I keep pausing. I just turn up the music a tiny bit. Just a smidgen.
I'm on it.
Get out of the way. Get these asteroids out of the way. Now we're solid. Outside interference. Coming in from downtown.
That's gonna take out the shuttle. There's the bridge. There's a large piece of debris headed for the shuttle. The tractor beam can't handle it.
What?
Can our shields take it?
I believe so.
Commander Rydek, plot an intercept course.
On it.
Alright, let's, Okay, shuttle trajectory. Where's that going? Oh. Intercept. Yeah, we're just gonna run into it.
Here we go. Maneuvering thrusters bearing 53 Mark 17. 200 meters on an intercept course.
Maneuvering.
We're just gonna ram our ship into the asteroid.
Got it.
Whoa! Someone's working hard on the bridge.
We've done it.
We got the shuttlecraft on board.
Good job. We're on our way down to meet them.
Terra firma, so to speak.
Ambassador Spock.
Oh, it actually is Spock from Star Trek. They put him in the game. He's an ambassador.
The captain will be right down to meet you, sir.
In that case, I will wait for him here.
Even people who know nothing about Star Trek know about Spock from Star Trek. Welcome aboard.
Well, let me be the first to say, welcome to the Resolute, Ambassador.
Thank you, Petty Officer...
Carter? Carter Diaz. Sir.
I am pleased to meet you, Petty Officer Carter Diaz. It appears I have you to thank for my safe arrival. Your assistance arrived not a moment too soon, if I may say so.
That's some help.
Well, it wasn't all me. I got some help from upstairs.
A bombastic approach to clearing debris. We thought we were prepared for our arrival in Hotari space, but it is evident my craft was not sufficiently robust for such intense ionic activity.
The storm has been pretty intense.
There was an element that was most unusual. Before you came to our aid, our maneuvering thrusters and impulse engines were rendered inoperable. So we attempted a short traversal at warp speed, only to find that we could not achieve warp at all, even though our diagnostics computer showed no faults or anomalies. What do you make of that? When all indications say that warp speed is possible, but in practice, we find it is
probably
not.
the storm.
Well, this storm is one of the strangest phenomena we've ever encountered. It's disrupted other systems. Who knows what it might do to a warp drive?
Yes, it would seem further investigation is called for.
We'll take readings, run some additional diagnostic checks, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
Quite logical, Petty Officer Diaz. Thank you.
Ambassador Spock,
Excuse me.
I'm honored to have you aboard. I'd like to get right to it. We're already behind.
Oh boy, howdy McDaniel. So Spock is the diplomat we're discussing terms with.
Ambassador Spock, my senior staff. It's not every day that a captain gets to welcome a Starfleet legend aboard.
You flatter me, Captain Solano. But legend implies the past tense, whereas I am very much focused on our present circumstances.
I didn't mean to suggest you were stuck in the past. You're right, Ambassador.
What did you
Most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past.
She's so clingy right now.
Recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Commander Westbrook is correct.
I didn't even see the options. Can you, please? Can you, for a second? Just for a second. I'm trying to play a video game. Anyway, I wasn't paying attention to that entire thing. Okay, just scrap the last 5 minutes of this. We need your experience.
Not the most diplomatic choice of words.
Your experience comes from the past. But our present situation calls for it.
True enough.
We were hoping you could fill us in on the details. We got the basics from Starfleet. 2 formerly peaceful neighbors are now on the brink of war.
Indeed, and the tension between them grows fiercer by the hour. Elydia and Hotari. Elydians are the more advanced species. They made first contact with the Hotari over a century ago. This is Tau, the Hotari moon. It is rich in dilithium, and for decades, the Hotari and the Elydians have shared a mining operation there. The Elydians provide the technological resources, while the Hotari have served as the labor force. The stability of that arrangement was the source of their peace, until recently. The Hotari have suddenly and forcefully seized control of the mining operations and expelled the Elydians from their system.
Oh.
That is the official story, as told by the Hotari when they requested Federation mediation. But the details remain scant. Communications between all parties have been limited by the ionic interference.
Yeah, how did that happen?
How is it the Hotari were able to turn the tables and take the mines against superior forces, especially after decades in this arrangement?
Unclear. The answer to that question may be the key to a new, lasting peace, and one that I hope we can uncover during these negotiations. But it is unlikely the relatively primitive Hotari forces would stand a chance against the Elydian fleet if this escalates to open war.
Yeah, they wouldn't stand a chance.
Left unchecked, this conflict will result in more bloodshed, which is what we are here to prevent.
And the dilithium trade hangs in the balance.
Clearly, the Hotari have been exploited in this relationship.
Maybe we can persuade them peace is the more profitable alternative for everyone. They both profited from the mines. And for the Hotari, something is better than nothing.
They would still be exploited.
Peace is our objective, after all.
We can call it profitable or mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, the Hotari are still being exploited for their own resources.
True peace is not merely the absence of war. And as such, this conflict will surely come again.
Neither the Elydians or the Hotari are members of the Federation, so we can't make them do anything.
There is an additional complicating factor I should mention. In the past, the Federation has relied on the Elydians as a source of dilithium.
That certainly changes things.
The Federation sources its dilithium from a lot of places.
Yeah, and this is one of them.
So I guess we're culpable.
So we've already played a part in this.
Unfortunately, that is indeed the case, Commander Rydek.
We're morally obligated to make this right.
Hold on. Our only obligation is to negotiate the peaceful resolution of this conflict.
Given the Federation's involvement in the Iridium dilithium trade, Captain Solano and I must make every effort to appear neutral in these negotiations.
What worries me is if this whole thing unravels and we're at the mercy of the storm at less than full strength.
We can't let it come to that.
Considering what the ion storm has done to our ship and the Ambassador's shuttle, we have to assume the Elydian fleet has had problems with it as well. This recent surge in the energy disturbance temporarily levels the playing field.
Oh.
Commander Westbrook is correct. The energy anomalies around the Hotari systems have been noted in the past.
It's a perfect storm.
They have never been observed on the orders of magnitude we have seen in recent weeks.
That may answer why the Hotari were able to strike back after so long. They finally had an opportunity, and they took it.
That would also explain the Elydians' restraint.
And reason to learn as much about the energy anomaly as we can while we are here. We do not want to be caught at a disadvantage of our own.
This storm puts us all at an equal playing field.
I trust we understand our circumstances.
We're operating on a strict timetable here, and we're going to be leaving for the negotiations shortly. Commander Westbrook, I want you to leverage our systems to investigate the anomaly from here while we're gone.
Aye, Captain.
Thank you all.
Dismissed.
I want to speak to both of you privately.
Ambassador Spock, I'd like to make a formal introduction. My first officer, Commander Jara Rydek.
Commander, as you are aware, there are limits to what Captain Solano and I can do in our official capacity as representatives of the Federation. But someone in an unofficial capacity,
Your first officer, for example,
Commander
would not be
Rydek
held by
could
such.
ingratiate herself to certain parties behind the scenes, where they may be more candid in revealing information that could lead to
I
a
could
resolution.
be the undercover.
She certainly goes her own way. Maybe that helps in this case.
Whatever it takes.
It would be unconventional.
I'm perfectly happy to work outside the lines.
And by extension, you will be doing your duty, Commander.
Just not too far outside the
This is awesome.
Well, I hope Commander Rydek will have more luck finding out what really happened than we will through official diplomatic channels.
The fate of the negotiations, the interests of the Federation, and the prospect for peace may very well depend on it.
I'll have to put subtitles on that point. It's weird that it glitched out on such a crucial line. Navigational complexity. Hey there.
Mr. Diaz, I understand you have already discussed the warp drive failure with Ambassador Spock?
I have.
It is imperative that the Ambassador's shuttle be flight ready. I need you both to ascertain the root cause of the system failures he encountered.
I'm surprised, Commander. I thought you would have wanted to work on Ambassador Spock's shuttle yourself.
I respect the Ambassador and his many accomplishments, but I do not derive any satisfaction from interacting with his shuttle as if it were somehow transubstantiated through its association with him. Especially when I have the entirety of his starship to concern myself with. I am not the chief engineer of this shuttlecraft.
Commander Chovak, is there anything you do enjoy?
I take pleasure in the satisfaction of a job well done. I suggest you try it sometime. Make note of any abnormalities in your report. Carry on.
Was that a joke?
No, couldn't have been. One nice thing about Vulcans, Chovak is the only person who didn't look at this and treat me like I was something to pity. Doc says I should get used to it.
Makes you look tough.
Doesn't mean I want to be reminded of it every minute of the day.
Hey, you won't get pity from me. I think it makes you look tough. As tough as you really are, that is.
And that Makes you sound pretty smart. I might need you to save me from myself next time, though. Come on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Let's see what the fuck going on.
Ready to go?
All set. Let's run the diagnostic.
Begin diagnostic.
So... I know about your talk with Miranda.
You do?
She sent me a Priority 1 dispatch right after your conversation.
Oh,
I'm happy for you.
What was that eyebrow?
Both of you.
Thanks.
But I'm only going to tell you this once. Don't screw this up. Because I would be very unhappy if you tried this out and then, I don't know, 6 weeks or 6 days later, I have to start splitting holidays between the two of you. All because things went south and you're not on speaking terms.
Have some faith, man.
That just isn't gonna work for me.
You really don't believe in me, huh?
It's not you. Or her. Just running the numbers, and things don't work out more often than they do. I like my friends, and I like our group. I don't want to lose that. Is that thing done yet?
Yeah, it's wrapping up. Let's see. The relays along the primary EPS
We'll be fine,
are
that's smart.
blown, but the backup relays are all intact.
An EPS overload from the warp drive could cause that. But how did the shuttle end up dead in the water?
Huh. Well, maybe the ship's data recorder can tell us something.
Data recorder. Yeah, how'd that happen?
Here.
They were only about 8 minutes from their plotted warp point. No faults, just those warnings. What are they?
Subspace variance out of tolerance. What does that mean?
It means the main navigation array lost sight of space somehow.
Will the array going offline cause that?
Yes, but it should have also thrown a fault code.
The warp field became inverted suddenly.
I've seen this happen when the center warp coil cracks.
A cracked warp coil throws a fault code.
Still, we should take a look.
There's no fault codes for any of these errors.
There was a complete warp cascade failure.
Wow. They're lucky the shuttle didn't turn inside out.
Makes me think the computer panicked on the warp field equation.
Any one of these failures should have thrown a fault.
If it was caused by a system failure.
None of this caused the relays to blow. Roll forward to when that happened.
Yes, ma'am.
This storm. It's causing crazy things to happen.
So here, they take a moment to get their bearings and they attempt to re-engage the warp drive.
There. That's the relays blowing.
More
And look,
errors.
there's another warp system alert.
They're all the same. Subspace variance out of tolerance, or warp inversions. Finally, there's a complete warp cascade failure.
Then it's one of two things. Either a warp coil is cracked or the navigation array is offline.
That makes sense.
Divide and conquer. You want to check the warp coils or the navigation array? I'll check the other. Let's not overcomplicate this.
I'll check
One of these systems is likely broken.
I'll check the warp coils.
I'll check the nacelles for a cracked coil.
You think that's a good idea, Tokyo? That we check the warp coils first? How do you feel about that? Each recorder can record and analyze data, look through the... Scan for glowing objects. Oh, this will be good practice for when I play the Telltale game, The Expanse. It'll probably be just like that. I guess I go warp. I know, it's very exciting. Exciting gameplay happening. Oh, I'm scanning the ship. I'm stupid. Bro. Refton. Some objects you can scan will activate a deep scan. During a deep scan, L and R1 to switch between different scan modes. When you have scanned all objects, the frame will change color. Hold L2 to analyze the data. Anomaly. In their standby state, warp coils produce a residual electromagnetic field, no deviation detected. Chemical. The center coil guides the warp field through its focal event, maintaining a collimated thrust vector, no fractures detected. The leading coils show evidence of routine maintenance to repair microabrasion from neutrino interactions. There wouldn't be any bio readings from this. Complete scan.
I checked every coil on the port nacelle for imbalances. If any coil in either engine were cracked, I would have detected it. So, it must be the navigation array.
Except it's not. Checked and double-checked.
Well, the readings don't lie.
Here comes the security detail for the way team.
Hey.
I'm not here.
We're escorting the negotiating team to the surface as soon as they come down from the bridge. I don't want to interrupt some important work.
Cue the romantic music!
Hoping to see you before I go. The captain and the others will be here any minute now. Should be an interesting ride down to the surface.
Well, we can't let the brass catch us slacking on the job. Just play along. This is a Mark IV outboard diagnostic panel used for troubleshooting shuttles and other medium-sized transport vehicles. Some people prefer the Mark V because it's one better, but the Mark IV is still one better than the Mark III.
That all sounds very technical.
Hey, Maris. Aren't these those button pushers you're always hanging out with?
And you're the phaser jockeys we always beat in Parisi squares, right?
All aboard for Hotari!
That another one of the captain's railroad things?
Gotta be. I just usually zone out by the time he gets to the whole, steam engines were the warp drives of their day part. Catch y'all later.
You don't want to miss your train.
I do have to go. Not gonna lie, I'd rather not leave right
Kiss.
now.
Check out this romance.
That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
She's
Save
not
some
into
for
it.
when I get back.
You got a deal.
Be seeing you.
Lower decks dalliance.
Etzelar de Diaz. If you could float back down to reality, we still have a ways to go. All right, where were we?
So, the warp coils in the navigation array are fine, but the nav computer doesn't seem to think so.
I'm out of ideas short of field stripping the shuttle from bow to stern.
You wanna take this out of the shuttle and throw it on the bench?
Oh, real hands-on maintenance. I like it. Okay, the nav computer is patched into the ship.
The ship's computer can double-check our work. If the shuttle's nav computer is putting out false data, we'll know it.
Let's run through the shuttle's logs.
We'll know it.
Running now.
Oh, we keep getting errors when we move the ship.
Same. Warp field inversion and a cascade failure. However, the Resolute computer doesn't show the same subspace variance.
We're in the same conditions that the shuttle was in when it failed. Why wouldn't the ship's computer get a matching result?
What if
Very
the
strange.
subspace variance was a momentary occurrence?
That's a possibility, and it would explain why the simulation under our current sensor readings failed to reproduce the issue.
But a subspace anomaly strong enough to cause a warp field collapse would leave graviton ripples for days.
Let's run with the momentary subspace variance theory for now. Roll forward to the shuttle's attempt to re-engage the warp drive. We need the conditions of space around the shuttle at the moment of warp failure.
Resuming simulation.
Failed again.
Error in warp field calculation. Cochrane formula variables are out of range.
That right there. Take the shuttle sensor data from that moment.
Computer, why did the warp field calculation fail?
Warp field pressure return non-orthogonal. Results are undefined.
That doesn't help.
Wait, what if we use a different ship?
Put the Resolute into the simulation instead of the shuttle.
Yeah, it should warp just fine.
The Resolute.
Unless... Computer, run the simulation with the Resolute.
Resolute simulated.
Computer,
we're gonna get
give
the
me
same
manual control
results.
on the warp power.
Oh, the Resolute's gonna fail if we get to Hotari.
Static field intensity, warp 1.1.
Kitten, please. Kitten, please, I have to move the Resolute. I have to move the Resolute to Hotari. You know.
1.2. 1.3. Warp pressure is destabilized. Error in warp field calculation. The warp drive has experienced a system-wide cascade failure. Warp field collapsed. Subspace variance is out of tolerance. Cochrane formula results are undefined.
Bingo.
What-o?
The same moment when the shuttle failed to warp, so did the ship. Whatever happened to the shuttle just happened to us. The Resolute will not sustain warp.
We can't leave Hotari space.
We're trapped in Hotari space. We can't warp out of here. The storm. And that's a nice cliffhanger to leave it on. Let's look at the choices. Jara reaffirmed Captain Solano's trust and confidence in her by demonstrating honesty, integrity, and leadership ability in the aftermath of the crisis at the space dock. Jara has way more characters than Carter. Carter doesn't interact with that many people. Lieutenant Bedrosian appreciated Jara's leadership skills when... Oh, nothing new there. Ambassador Spock noticed Jara's keen intellect and unique insight into the dynamics of the Hotari-Elydian conflict during the mission briefing. Ambassador Spock also noted Jara's positive attitude when presented with her back-channel mission. Nothing changed there. Nothing changed there. Dr. Duval was impressed by Jara's sense of responsibility to the crew, but would rather see her thinking independently than following Captain Solano's every order. Well, when Captain Solano has a bad order, then if Captain Solano has an order I disagree with, then maybe I would. Maybe I wouldn't follow it. It's kind of part of the job. Lieutenant Commander Chovak approved of Jara's decision to follow Captain Solano's... nothing changed there. And still have not interacted with you. Edsolar thought Carter was clever in his approach to appeasing her anger over his going first on the hull. Miranda won't soon forget her romantic kiss with Carter when they were saying goodbye in the docking bay. Lieutenant Commander Chovak did not care for Carter's cheeky attitude when asked about... What? Shut up! Chovak just doesn't like me. That's his character. Ambassador Spock was impressed by Carter's skilled use of the tractor beam to rescue his shuttle, and he was left with the distinct impression Carter is a team player. Next time on Star Trek Resurgence. Hotari. The planet. The moon. Negotiations. We're playing the Star Trek game. Let's get it.